Welcome to the World United. Welcome to the World United. Let's do our first exercise, and this involves the body to release the endorphins, the oxytocin hormone that helps create calm. It lowers our blood pressure. It lowers our heart rate, our breathing rate. We're going to start with our hands and fingers, and we're going to move so slow that we're being very mindful of what we are doing. And what happens to the brain when you slow down, the brain actually has a chance to respond to what's happening in that moment, sending signals to other parts of your brain to go ahead and send out oxytocin to, lower the anxiety or the fear, right? Okay, so with your fingers, let's start there. We're just going to start by moving very slowly. So go ahead and hit the bell. We're going to do this for 1 minute. Good. So slow, mindful. You may want to look at your hands. Very mindful, slow. Maybe you want to move your fingers a little. And notice anything that's happening as you very slowly move. Put your fingertips together and very slowly move. It's like you're caressing your fingertips, and it feels good. What we're doing here is self-soothing, but we're doing it so slowly that we're very focused. Now, you may want to run down the palm of your hands and the other side.
That's a minute.
And that's a minute. Okay, good.
I actually used this yesterday where I've been having some trouble with blood pressure, elevated blood pressure. It actually started when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I had normal blood pressure until I started going into the oncologist's office and getting vital signs taken before my chemotherapy, before my radiation. Elevated, skyrocketed, I wouldn't say skyrocketing, but elevated my blood pressure significantly. And it's kind of stayed there ever since. So I had a follow-up appointment with my doctor yesterday to check it. And I thought, all right, here I am in the waiting room. I've got nothing else to do, and nobody's really going to see me doing this. So I was just, gently caressing my forearms. And another technique that I'm going to share with you in a little bit. I did that for 15 minutes, and I went in, and I couldn't believe it. My blood pressure was back to normal levels, which they hadn't been since 2013. So, I really felt like this helped to contribute to calming me down in the doctor's waiting room.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that that's when you were diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, was in 2013. Yeah. So blood pressure immediately went up, for myself included. So that is one of the things that you can do. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to repeat it because it's so important that you remember this piece. 1 minute per hour each day. 1 minute of doing something like this, or the next two that we're going to be doing, 1 minute per hour is just as effective as doing 20 minutes of meditation in the morning and 20 minutes of meditation in the evening, totaling 40 minutes. So let's say if you did 1 minute every hour for like an 8-hour day, let's say, right? 8 minutes versus 40 minutes, it's just as or more effective than the 40 minutes. So in some ways, there's no excuses not to do this, right?
You could set a timer on your phone and just set it once an hour to remind you to do these simple mindful exercises.
Exactly. So now this next one, are you ready for the bell again?
Yep.
The next one, I'm sitting up in my chair because I'm going to do a slow stretch. And again, go ahead with the bell. And we're starting the 60 seconds. So go ahead, take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just completely slowly, you may want to stretch a little bit, stretching your back. It's so slow that you really feel the different parts of your back. Again, you can come back. You're moving so slow that the body has a chance to send the signals. Hey, there was a little ache over there. Let's send a relaxing hormone, the oxytocin, or the dopamine, or whatever, to that part of the body to release some stress or to release an ache, right? And now you're probably noticing I've got some neck issues, so I've been working on my neck, and you may want to just slowly lower your neck, your chin down to your chest.
Okay, that's 1 minute.
Okay, and then back up again. Good. So again, you probably just got a little bit more of a release of that calming hormone.
And it's also taking us out of our active minds, where all that energy, all those thoughts are bouncing around. We're bouncing future, past. What am I going to do? What did I do? What happened? What going to change? How am I going to do it different? What's going to happen? Taking us out of that energy and lowering it down into our bodies as we start to get more in touch with our bodies sensing in a sensory way.
Yeah.
And it's bringing us totally into the present moment.
Yeah. Good. And the last one, this is what the animal kingdom does all the time in nature. Let's say a predator has been chasing them and they survive the predator, but they're all kind of stressed out, jacked up, right? All this energy, all this adrenaline is running through their system. But once the danger is over, what do? They yawn. They yawn. And they don't do it really fast. They yawn and they stretch nice and slow because, again, their brain is going to that part of the body that needs the relaxing, hormones the most. So we're going to be like a wild animal and do some yawning. So we're going to start the bell. And we're going to go ahead and fake it till we make it, but you may want to stretch and yawn. Even if it's not a full-on yawn, it's okay because you took a nice deep breath and then maybe stretch in another area. Making noise is not a bad idea. The main thing is to take in a full breath like you do with a yawn. And just feel that. You may notice a change in your head. I know a minute just popped up. So a change for me, my mind seems a little bit more clear now.
It's like pressing the reset switch for me.
Yeah.
And it feels like in a good way, the blood flow is kind of restored to my head. Just feels like I'm oxygenating. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really why the body yawns on its own anyway, is because it's looking to oxygenate a little better.
Exactly.
So you're drawing in a deep breath. And so we're mindfully yawning. Again, I think the key is that it's bringing us into the present moment. And especially if we focus on that yawn, on the stretch, and being totally immersed in that process, we are not thinking about the past or the future.
The amygdala, it's two glands on the right and left brain hemisphere that's shaped like an almond and about the size of an almond. And the main purpose is to store trauma memory. And we're really good at going back to that trauma memory, especially when we get into the fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? It kicks off the amygdala, which then sends all the cortisol and the other stress, the breathing, you have shortness of breath, maybe your muscles tense, right? So we've got these two important centers of our brain that is very focused on trauma. And we now, because there's been so much chronic stress for decades at this point, but we now have to train our mind to go back to its natural state in terms of how we were actually born into this world, because little infants are not, they don't have trauma memory, right? So they're not going into fight, flight, or freeze necessarily all the time like we tend to do now. So this exercise is very good for getting to that part of the brain. It's activating the intuition part of our brain that can turn the negative into a positive mindset. So we're going to start with taking a nice, deep, relaxing breath. We're going to take 3, in fact. So breathe in all the way. Exhale out of your mouth and just allow any kind of thoughts and tension to run down your body, all the way down to your feet. Breathe in a nice full breath all the way in. Exhale all that energy, thoughts running down the body to our feet. And last deep breath in through your nose. Exhale all those thoughts down the body to our feet. Really feeling your feet for a second here. Okay, good. Now, I want you to, and this is where the paper can come in handy, or you can just keep your eyes closed or relaxed. No way to do this wrong. Remember a time when you felt so successful. You felt amazing. Maybe you were with a person, a loved one, a beloved person in your life, or maybe the situation was celebratory. You got a degree or a child or a grandchild or whatever it may be, but allow yourself to go back to that time when you just felt amazing, successful, right? So successful. And it just feels good. It feels good to go there. What you focus on expands. So those feel good hormones, this is kind of how physics works. What you focus on expands. Feel good, you're feeling good because you're focused on that wonderful success, the award maybe, that beautiful child or that happy time in your life or that special person, and it just expands and gets bigger and bigger. Good. Now, the next step is to focus on a challenging time in your life or a challenging situation. And how you overcame that challenging time. That's the key. Go to how you overcame that challenging time. Allow yourself to really spend some time here. Go to that part of you that came up with the solution and you did it. The part of you that, you can feel good because, wow, that was so difficult. That was so challenging, but I did it. And you're savoring how you overcame your challenge. And again, savoring, spend some time there, because we're literally training the mind in this moment to easily go there. The more you do this exercise or these questions, right, recalling, the more your brain goes, oh yeah, it's time to get into the solution part of my brain. And that feels good. And that last step is to then focus on one of the things we've been talking about already. So, stay focused on how you overcame, how proud you feel of yourself, how good that feels that you overcame this problem, this challenge. And then at the same time, you're going to do something that's very self-soothing. Or maybe you're going to very slowly stretch your body, or you're going to yawn. And again, what you're doing is training your mind to send these signals to other parts of your body that it really is okay to relax. And whenever you focus on what you're proud of, what you overcame, it feels good and it's good for you.
So thank you all. Have a wonderful
everybody.
evening, and we are wishing you peace and calm.
Yes, very much. Thank you.